Hello, everybody. This is Vocab Hawk, and we're doing something a little different. Good start. I already have snot in my lungs. So, we're going to be playing MyHouse.wad. Uh, so, before we play MyHouse.wad, there's lore. And I'm sure if you've heard anything about anything, you've probably seen people play this, or, you've heard people talking about this. So, I know this exists. I've been told it's loosely related to the book House of Leaves by I can't remember his name, and I hated that book. So this will also be a venting session once the game starts for how I hate House of Leaves. But so basically, this guy. I'll just read you. I'm not going to read you everything here, but I'll read this. So it says, "Excited to finally release this tribute map. Last August, I lost a good childhood friend of mine and took it pretty hard. When I was visiting my hometown for his funeral, I connected with his parents, who shared with me some of his old belongings. Among them was a copy of an old map of his backed up on a 3.5-inch floppy from high school. Thomas and I were into amateur doom mapping in the early 2000s, but I never had seen this map prior to the uncovering of it on the floppy disk. As a way of paying tribute to him, and with all the great memories we've had together, I took the plunge and installed Doom Builder in order to make the map. I haven't touched it in over 15 years, so I was surprised to find how easy it was. I've gotten a little carried away with blah, blah, blah. Uh, so, making maps of your house was all the rage back in the day, but I feel it's a pretty adorable and detailed tribute to my friend. I miss you, Tom." So, that brings us to, I better X this out. That brings us to myhouse.wad. So, the first thing, and this is the only thing I've read ahead of time. Hopefully, there's not more that I missed. But the first thing is the journal. So there's this old big journal, and if you want to read it on your own, uh, you are welcome to. Just if you Google myhouse.wad, the first thing that's going to show up is the Doom, the web page, and that can bring you here, and you can find everything yourself. So I'm just going to run through this real quick. I've got notes. I just finished reading it, and there is some stuff I need to show you because it may be relevant in the game. I don't know how well you can see that because it looks fucked up on the screen. So, basically, okay, his friend dies on August 4th, 2022, and I put on my English professor glasses for this one. So the one thing I noticed is he refers to him as friend a lot. And as a matter of fact, he is not going to refer to his friend by name until when? Down here. So every time he mentions his friend before then, he just says my friend, which just stood out to me because I was like, who fucking talks like that? Like if my buddy John died, I wouldn't be like, oh, my friend died today. I'm so sad my friend died. I was talking to my friend's parents and they told me about some Doom map. I'd been like, John died, and I talked to John's parents. So that was just a creepy writing thing I kind of noticed. So he dies on the 4th. There's a funeral on the 16th. The 20th. Oh, and by the way, the house, the word house being blue, that I think is supposed to be a direct callback to House of Leaves, because in House of Leaves, every time they use the word house, if I remember right, it's italicized to emphasize the word house. So I think that's what he's going for. Uh, so then we go to the next page, and if you want, I'll go through every page. So if you really want to read it without having to pull it up, pause the video and read it. I don't know how good the quality is going to be because I'm looking at it on the recording screen and it looks like shit. But maybe you can read it when it's a video because maybe it's just so small for me that I can't read it. So the 18th, he finds the floppy disk. He orders something to unpackage it. Did I say what did I say? I said the 18th. Then the 20th, he finds the map of his friend's house. Once again, house is blue. He realizes what he's going to do to honor his friend is to finish the map and clean it up. So then we get into late August, and he has a dream where he smells smoke. He hears screams upstairs. Then we get to September, and he shows off an early thing of the friend's map, and then we skip an entire month. A month goes by and nothing happens. By which, what really happened is he's been so busy working on the map. Or no, he's been busy with work. He hasn't had time to work on the map. So it's been a month absence. And this is when he looks at the friend's drawing. So to line up with it, let's go ahead and in the My House, let's look at the sketchbook. There's sketchbook, screenshots, photos, and files. I don't think we care about files. No, the files are the actual files. We don't care about the files. Oh Lord, I was about to say, internet, don't fuck with me. So let's take a look at these sketches. So the first sketch is of the house. So it's, by the way, just because it wasn't brought up, it's never said how his friend died. He says his friend was depressed and in a bad place, which implies suicide, but it is never actually said how he dies. So this is the house. And these are pictures I'm seeing for the first time. I've seen some of the pictures. I did not look at the sketches. The only thing I'll say about that is, like, over here, I guess that's just supposed to be the end of the sketch, but those lines are spooky. I've got my, if you ever watch, like, Marble Hornets, and you put on your Slender Man goggles for, like, every scene, you're like, where's the spooky thing? That's the mode I'm in right now. I'm in, like, defensive mode, where I'm looking for what the problem is going to be. But let's go ahead and go to the next one. So the next one is a drawing of a dog. It looks like a 3-headed dog. No, it's not. It's a 4-headed dog. You can see in the middle, I should use my mouse, we've got a dog head there, a dog head here, a dog head here, and a dog head here, and then I think those are paws. Do I have any notes about any kind of dog thing? There are notes of growls and sounds. This may be something we have to deal with, but it's just a fucked up drawing of a dog, or a couple dogs. And then lastly, we have, does not load today. So it looks like what he's doing here is he's laying out a map. One thing I'm going to note is that little hall thing looks like a 4, which is notable because we're going to see in here that, well, it might be notable, it might be me reaching. I have this issue where with this type of thing, I often overread puzzles more than I underread puzzles. So it may very well be it's something like, we're going to find this room in the Doom mod, and there's going to be something on there that is hidden that we were only going to know because we've seen this. But I'm not 100% on that. I am going to do a quick little sketch of my own to show this room. But that's my guess, is there will be something where either we encounter this room and something is missing and we will only know to look for it because we've seen this drawing. So there's a large 4. Or it has something to do with the 4. That it's here, because I have a 2, a 3, and a 1. 1, 2, 3. So those are all the drawings. So let's go back to my house and hop back in the journal. So anyway, now we're in October. He eats some pizza. Here he notes that for some reason he feels compelled to not let other people work on this, that it needs to be his. That's what happens on the 13th. So here on November 4th, 2022, we notice the 2 is highlight red. I've got a note for that. So he has a dream where a ghost is crying in the attic. He goes up to the attic. He finds a line of toys that lead him to a daycare. He goes to the daycare. Inside he finds a crib with a stillborn baby in it. And he realizes the cries he heard from the attic are probably the cries of his baby, and then he wakes up. He gets tired. He's getting exhausted. You can't tell if he's been working on the Doom map or not, but he thinks he has. November 23rd. God damn my voice. Let me take a quick sip of water. It also may be worth noting that the first nightmare he had, well, not the first nightmare, but that nightmare with the ghost baby is exactly 3 months after his friend died. I don't know. I've got no notes on that. That's just something I just noticed. So on the 23rd, we have the 3 highlight. He has a dream where he's in a bath. The bath leads him to like these underwater caves, and there's demons in them. Then it's the 7th. He's still working on the Doom map. He's tired. 16th, he takes a day off of work because he's tired. 17th, he's still tired. The 18th, we have a 1 highlight. So now we have 2, 3, and 1. So if anything, that makes me think maybe this is an order, which would mean first we're going to do something with a mirror, second we're going to do something with the attic, and then third we're going to do something with a bath. That may be an order to accomplish something. And then that might lead us to that fourth room. Or four, we need to go to that room. But again, that's me reaching. So on the first day, has a dream where he's in the bathroom and his mirror is its own person, and he, typical spooky mirror stuff. Uh, January 4th, he's supposed to go back to work. He says, fuck it. I can relate. The 7th, he has a dream about a car crash where he ends up at a gas station. And I think it was here where he hears, I heard some strange noises coming from the woods. That may be that dog. I don't know. January 14th, he has a dream about an airplane crash. January 21st, he says, I'm going to take a break. Or let me go to that page. January 21st, he says he's going to take a break. 22nd, he's working on it again. 23rd, he's still working on it again. 31st, he says, I'm really going to take a break. The 14th, he finally, or on the 14th, he seems to be depressed. He says, Happy Valentine's Day, the only person I ever loved. For a short time, you brought a little happiness to this painful existence called life. I hope we can get together again one day. In the meantime, I'll keep looking for that other someone who can be a ray of light in my life that you turned out to be. We assume that's Thomas. So here on the 19th is the first time ever he's actually called him Thomas. I don't know if that's a sign of him healing or if that's supposed to sort of be a sign that he's, I don't know. Part of me feels like his friend isn't real, but I don't know about that yet. But I feel like maybe his friend is sort of a conjuring of this evilness. So the 19th is the big reveal where he realizes the map is making itself. So the map he's been making, it's got so much stuff in it, and it's building its own stuff. So on 20th, he takes time off to finish the map. On the 26th, he can no longer tell what he's, or which parts are his friends doing and which parts are his, and then what the map itself is made. The 27th is just a long spiel where he's basically on a beach and he realizes his world is fake. I just noticed it was it's about to play. Did I lose? Okay, I guess I briefly lost internet there. I don't know what that was. But he basically writes this thing where he prays for death and he thinks that the version of himself in the mirror is the real him and he's the fake him. See, somewhere in another dream, the version of myself that winked back is sitting on the real beach, happy and content. Knowing life is finite, there is no afterlife, and happiness is found in the small things around us that we can control. Happiness has to be fought for, whereas he believes he is not in reality, and everything is shit. On March 2nd, he says, the map is using me this morning. I loaded a Doom Builder backup file from late October and spent a few hours preparing the map for release. So he realizes the map is something bad, and he goes back to his old files because he converted the file type for MyHouse, and when he did, this is when all the evil started. And so his plan is basically, I'm going to post the old one and be done with this and just like rid myself of it. And on March 9th, he swears he uploaded the WAD, the save copy, but it was MyHouse PK3 instead. And then, obviously, you have to do a little bit of the role playing because, like, I hope I brought it down in time. But, obviously he left it up because it's a video game. So that's the journal. So the things I have noted is the 1, 2, 3, or the 2, 3, 1, however you want to say it. And then that drawing has a 4 in it, which I just saw. And also the word house shows up 7 times. I don't know if that's going to matter. I'm going to double check that I did that. So 1, 2, 3, none, none. None, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 with 2 crossed out. I'll make a note of that as well. I'm going to make a note that which ones are crossed out. So 1, 2, so numbers 3 and 4 are crossed out. So, okay, that's it for the journal. Let's keep moving. I'm going to try and make this just one episode so we can just start playing the game. So that was the sketchbook. Let's check out the screenshots. Okay. So for our screenshots of the house, we have a little breakfast nook. We have, I don't know if the screenshots are going to have anything for us, but I don't know if the screenshots are going to load. Let's just try and do a deal. Nope. Come on, internet, I got a video to make. Alright, so there's just a room in the dark. I don't know if these numbers are going to matter. 1864.79. Interesting thing is he's been hurt, but 6076.89. So that's just another part of the house. Okay, there's like an evil little red thing. That's 8298.0. But I'm not going to write anything for this. I'm going to go on a limb and assume it doesn't matter, but maybe it does. 888 and 0. All right. And lastly, that's him in the back. There's a grave. So that might be the only thing that matters, is that there's a grave in the backyard. So I'll make a note of that. And also, I noticed the trees aren't there, but that might just be a Doom thing. There's a grave in the backyard that we'll try and check out. I don't like that sky. So we have another folder in the folder. Is this just the same thing? No, there's more. Okay, this is the same. That, I think, is the same. That looks to be the same. Should be like the redness here. Yeah, that's the same. That's the same. You have the grave. We have an extra image, which is a bloody bathroom. Okay, I'll make a note of it. It's like a bloody public bathroom. Alright. So let's go back to my house. So that was the sketchbook, the screenshot. So lastly, let's end with the photos. So we have the obituary. And okay, I'm going to talk about this guy, Thomas Allard. So he died on August 3rd. So the guy actually dies on August 3rd. And the friend finds out he's dead on the 4th. So celebration of life will be held from 12 to 4 with a service at 1 p.m. on Sunday. Which is interesting because maybe I'm misunderstanding. There's between a service and a burial. But it says here the service was on the 7th. But the funeral was on the 16th? Is that how that works? I don't know. That was the same thing. Anyway, yada yada, he was born in 1987. Does that math? Yeah, for 2022, that maths. Growing up, he ran cross country for high school. Blah, blah, blah. He then moved to Wyoming. Yada, yada, yada. Tom and his partner moved to Oswego, where he started working for the city as part of the grounds crew. He was loved by everyone who knew him, and his smile and laugh was said, that should be were. His smile and laugh were said to be infectious. He will be missed and deeply remembered by everyone in his life. Tom was survived by his parents Dale and Judy, his sister Suzanne, his brothers Joel and David, and his cat Scrambles, whom he spoiled rotten. Now, I'm just going to get this out of the way. I don't like Thomas Allard's face. It doesn't look real, and I'm going to skip, because I've seen the photos. I'm going to go to another photo, and you're going to see why I don't like his face. So look at his face right here, and then look at his face right here, and tell me that that's not the same face. It looks computer generated. It doesn't look right. And so we know this is Thomas, and we can assume this is our guy. They both don't look like real people. But the thing about this picture I hate the most, other than the actual face, is that this is the picture. And I'm pretty sure that, I mean, I guess maybe you say he smiles the same way, but it looks like the exact same picture, and they just like flipped it in a photo editor. And it may just be they did that, and I'm not supposed to notice that. Or maybe I'm overreading, but I do not like it that he has the same face. Period. I don't like this. If you've watched me play spooky games, you know I'm an absolute puss in boots. I hate this stuff, but I do it anyway. All right, so then we got our photos. Boys cross country. This is the house. We've seen screenshots, I think, that show that kitchen. I don't know if we're going to get a lot out of the photos, but... So this one I didn't like. There's this cat, which I assume is Scrambles, whom he spoiled rotten. There's like this smudge in the door. I was talking with a friend about it, and he said he just thinks it's a finger smudge, but I don't like it. not one bit. And then we have like a flag team, and then it looks like that's probably the cross country team or the football team riding on trucks. Let's go to the next one. So then this is just the next part of that picture because there's them on the trucks. So it's probably like what's it called? A parade of sorts because there's more sports people. There's more sports people. And then we have this room, which this will probably matter. I do find it odd that there's no mention of a dog anywhere, but we have a dog right here. I guess the dog could have been their childhood home dog, and it passed away. But that is, basically anything that's a room in the house, I think is worth noting. And I can't see the dog super well, but that doesn't look like the dog from the sketch. So then here, I just don't like this photo, if I'm being honest. All these photos have enough like in the backdrop that just like I can't tell what that is, and I don't like it, not one bit. I didn't know what this was. I was informed this is like a doorbell. I've never seen something like that in my life. But I don't like this. I don't like all those doors. I don't like that they're all closed except that door. And that may be something that matters. It may be if we get in this area, we close these doors, that door will show up. I'm going to try and remember this. I'm going to try and remember all these photos, but I can't promise you I'll do that. And then unknown, stop for directions. For this picture, the only thing I've got is that may be the same gas station as the Dream, but I don't know that for a fact. And then lastly, we have this photo again, and there's not a lot I can take from it. So that is everything in the My House folder that you can find if you want to do your own investigation. Look up the MyHouse.wad. I apologize to anyone who thought this was going to be an entertaining video, but this is me trying to lay out all the facts I've gathered so that before we play this or when we're playing this, if I make any statements where I'm like, oh, this is the 4-room from the thing, you can go, okay, I know what he's talking about. Instead of going, I've got notes. Like I looked at this big folder of notes. You go look at it and figure stuff out. But I've got my own folder of notes, and I say there's a 4-room. So, that's that. So thank you all for watching. I'm not sure. It depends on how much I can get recorded this weekend. There may be a video as well today, but it may be today is just more of a lore video. And I want your opinion on this. I may add music in future ones. I probably won't for this one because I'm lazy and an idiot. But if you like these kind of in-depth reviews before we start games, let me know because it may be in the future before we start a game, if it's a game of some prestige or history, I may do something like this where before we even play a game, I'll dedicate like 20 minutes to just talking about this game, its history, letting you know stuff before we hop in. I don't know if there'll be a lot of games where I need to do that, but it may be something I consider doing. So thank you all for watching and listening. There may be another video today. You'll know by the time this is up. If this will come up at the 7 a.m. If by 7:30 there's another video, or there's not another video, there's not going to be another video. But we'll just have to see how much I get recorded. But I'm going to go ahead and get the game started. Thank you all for watching, and I will see you in the next video. I hope you have a great day. Bye, everybody.